Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Grain Feed, brought to you by Everag. This is your weekly news feed for all things grain and all things feed. Each week, we bring you updates on the markets with unique perspectives from an amazing team of analysts with the intention of helping dairy and livestock producers manage the risk. I'm your host, Jim Matthews. We are filming in Tulare, California at the World Ag Expo, and standing next to me, you know him well, our Director of Feed Procurement, Mr. Jake Kingsley. Jake, how are we today?
Doing very well, Jim. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It's a little chillier in California than I was told it was going to be. It was actually a little bit colder here than it was in Chicago for a couple days here, but I think we've battled the elements. We made our way back inside. Things are looking good. We've had a really nice week so far. We're recording on Thursday, the final day of the expo. We've had 2.5 days now of speaking with dairy and livestock producers from all over this great state of California, but also some from Oregon, Washington, Arizona as well. Jake, what's been the key takeaway that you've gathered here at the expo this week on the feed side of things?
I think a lot of folks are a little bit concerned about what's going to happen for the rest of this feed year here. We've had a lot of questions about folks that are still kind of exposed to the open market and curious if there's something they can do to kind of better position themselves to get through the rest of this crop year into, say, September, October timeframe. I think a big concern is this pretty big downshift in milk without a complementary move in feed has left a lot of folks reeling and worried about what their financials will look like over the next few months here. So.
Yeah, it's been a tough go on the milk market, and as you said, Jake, the feed market remains elevated, so definitely a big concern on the grain and feed side of things. Anything coming up in the feed industry report-wise, market movement-wise, that you can foresee here in the coming weeks?
Well, I think we've talked about it with just about everybody that's passed through here. Not a whole lot as far as reports are concerned over the next 6 weeks or so. I think the next big one will be, well, we'll have the March WASDE, but the main priority will be the acreage intentions there at the very end of March. So fairly limited on that side. Otherwise, we're probably looking at headlines. Weather in Argentina, and then maybe does Brazilian harvest pace pick up as they maybe dry out a little bit, and then also what happens in Ukraine. Does Russia up their offensive further as we kind of hit this 1 year mark and they come out of winter, or what does that shake out to be?
Okay, and I think we've talked to a handful of folks, and you've talked about this, Jake, now over the last week or so, but initial offers on new crop feed. Anything to take note on there?
I think it's just noteworthy that they're floating around this early in the crop year. I don't see anything that's super exciting to go and purchase here today, but this is a fair bit earlier than we would normally see, as we've talked already. So I think, again, reiterating, coming up with some targets or some goals for your operation price-wise to maybe get your purchasing year started, and then be on the lookout for numbers to start to try to approach that as we go through the next few weeks or 2 months here heading into the planting season. So not any great opportunities that we're seeing yet, but need to be prepared if something does hit the market here to snatch it up kind of quick.
Okay, Jake, thank you for that. Thanks for being here. Great show this week. Well done, as always. Back at the World Ag Expo, we just spoke to Jake Kingsley on the feed side of things. I'm now joined by Zach Bowers, travel companion from Chicago. Great to have you here. Great being with you this week. Zach, we've spoken to a lot of dairymen over the last 2 or 3 days here in Tulare. What are your biggest takeaways on the milk market? What have you been talking to folks about and advising them on this week?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest conversation this week has really been about where milk prices are at right now, how long they're going to last here, if they're going to continue to go lower, and kind of how the rest of the year is going to wrap up. And on top of that, how, kind of cull data has been running very strongly to start the year, but we just actually today got new cull data and the slaughter report showing that we're back to the 5-year average. So we've softened up a little bit on that. So I think that's going to be the most interesting thing to keep an eye on here is what are we doing with the herd? Are we going to keep milk tight? Is it going to get tighter? And I think that's going to really change the trajectory of the milk price going forward.
Absolutely. Thanks, Zach. And then just aside from the market perspectives on things, just operationally here in California, we've talked to a lot of dairymen about, the amount of rain they've received here now just in 2023. And just coming in from the airport, driving down here from Fresno, things looked green, right?
Yeah.
And you and I were here 1 year ago. How different do things look? How different do things feel from the water perspective and that rain perspective?
Yeah, the rain came all at once, which was definitely caused a lot of issues out here, but they made it through it, and it's green again, which is just crazy to see out here. And I think it's saved them for probably at least another year, but long-term water is still going to continue to be an issue in this area and continue to be a hot topic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate the insight, Zach. Great being here with you this week, and looking forward to it again next year.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Absolutely. Okay, so far I've interviewed Jake Kingsley here and Zach Bowers, but now I stand next to a new travel companion, not new to Everag and the Everag family, but in terms of hitting up shows together, being on the road together, Ryne Braun. Ryne, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. It's good to be out here with you. It's been a fun week so far. Ryne, what's your role here at Everag?
So I manage all of our on-farm technology solutions here at Everag for the dairy industry.
Okay, excellent. And you've been very busy this week talking to different companies, different dairies, different members of the industry. What's been your biggest takeaway the past few days here in Tulare?
I think our biggest takeaway is these on-farm advisors and the dairymen they serve really need to access the same data, and they need that data to be generated automatically and accurately, and that's something that we're able to help with to make sure that operationally they're able to perform, in these tough times.
Excellent. Ryne, is there any one particular piece of technology or implementation that someone can use on farm that you're very excited about and people to seem very keen about here at Everag, but also just industry-wide?
Yeah, I would say our Canthus solution really has a tool that generates data objectively without any human interaction. So as these farmers go to work every day, they can look at our system knowing that data is going to be there, and they're able to use it to manage their day, whether that's feed availability or cow behavior. They're able to look at this and look at that in conjunction with milk production and their feed and see what actions they need to take.
Excellent. Very exciting stuff. Again, great to be out here with you and looking forward to continuing to do it. Thanks a lot for your time. Appreciate it. Okay, well, I think that sums it up for today. Big thanks to Jake, Zach, and Ryne for being on the show today. It's been a fun week in Tulare. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to stop by our booth, who helped set the booth up, who has taken the time to meet with us both on farm and here at the show. Greatly appreciate it. It's been a wonderful time being here in Tulare with you. That's all for today. Big thanks to Paige for her production magic, and thank you to the viewers for watching the Grain Feed. Contact information is on the screen. Please reach out. We appreciate your feedback. That's all for today. We'll see you next time on the Grain Feed.